Imagine it's the dead of winter, 1959. You are on a rescue mission deep in the brutal Ural Mountains of Soviet Russia, searching for a missing team of 9 young hikers. Look closely at this photo. You see heavy winter gear, perfectly staged skis, and a sturdy tent pitched deep in the snow. These students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute were highly experienced, Grade 2 survivalists, on their way to earning the Soviet Union's highest hiking certification. For the first few days of their trek, the group was in high spirits, singing songs and taking cheerful photos. But on February 1st, a massive snowstorm hit. With visibility dropping to 0, the group lost their bearings and accidentally climbed Kholat Syakhl, a peak the local tribes call Dead Mountain. Realizing their navigational error, group leader Igor Dyatlov ordered the team to pitch their tent right there on the exposed freezing slope. This was a calculated decision by experts who knew how to handle the cold. They ate dinner, crawled into their sleeping bags, and went to sleep. When the group failed to send a scheduled telegram a week and a half later, family members panicked. The government immediately launched a massive civilian and military search operation across the mountain. What the search parties eventually found defied logic. The hiker's tent was half buried in the snow, but it hadn't been crushed from the outside. The canvas had been sliced open from the inside. The 9 hikers didn't pack their bags or grab their coats. They cut their way out and fled into a -40-degree blizzard wearing nothing but underwear, socks, and bare feet. These were experts who understood that leaving a tent in these conditions meant certain death. They abandoned their only source of shelter because whatever happened inside that tent made the risk of freezing to death outside feel like the safer option. Following the preserved footprints down the slope, investigators found a chilling contradiction. The tracks showed 8 or 9 people walking calmly. Despite the emergency of their exit, these tracks showed a deliberate, orderly march toward the forest a mile away. Down at the edge of the woods, under a massive cedar tree, searchers found the first 2 bodies. They were lying next to the remains of a tiny fire, wearing only undergarments, their hands raw and bloody from trying to climb the tree. Between that tree and the tent, investigators located 3 more bodies, including Igor Dyatlov. Their frozen postures showed they were trying to crawl back up the mountain toward their camp before the cold finally claimed them. While hypothermia explains how these 5 died, it doesn't explain the choice that led them there. It still fails to answer what forced them out into the dark in the first place. It took 3 months for the spring snow to melt and reveal the final 4 members of the expedition. They were discovered buried under 12 feet of snow in a nearby ravine. The medical examiner's report on these 4 was baffling. They had sustained devastating internal trauma, shattered ribs, and a crushed skull. The force required to inflict this damage is equivalent to a high-speed car crash. Yet there were no external injuries, no bruising, no cuts, no scratches on the skin. Their bones had been pulverized by a source of pure, invisible pressure. Then investigators noted the final details in the ravine. One hiker was missing her tongue, and another was missing his eyes. Faced with these irreconcilable medical facts, the Soviet government abruptly closed the investigation, officially stating the hikers died due to an unknown compelling force.
Early on, authorities suspected a territorial attack by the local indigenous Nansi people, wondering if the hikers had crossed onto sacred ground. But there were no foreign footprints in the snow, and it is physically impossible for a human attacker to crush a rib cage with that much force without leaving severe external bruises. Other hikers miles away reported seeing strange orange spheres glowing in the sky over the region, leading to theories of secret military testing. While a low-altitude explosion or a toxic gas leak could explain the government cover-up or a sudden exit from the tent, chemical weapons do not cause massive blunt force skeletal trauma. We are left with a massive gap in logic. Neither human malice nor a technological disaster can fully reconcile the specific forensic evidence left on the mountain. In 2021, a team of Swiss scientists published a study using advanced computer modeling that offers a mechanical explanation for the tragedy. This diagram shows what is called a delayed slab avalanche. When the hikers dug a ledge into the slope to pitch their tent, they inadvertently sliced the supporting base out from under the snowpack above them. Hours later, as the storm worsened, the snow blanket contracted. While the group slept, a heavy block of compacted snow detached and slid straight down onto the tent. That immense weight perfectly accounts for the internal trauma. It was a blunt, widespread pressure that pulverized bones without scratching the skin. Trapped under heavy ice in total darkness and severely injured, the survivors sliced the canvas open to escape. Science provides a how, explaining the cut tent and the horrific injuries. Yet the mountain keeps its secrets. From the missing eyes to the calm footprints leading away in the snow, the raw power of nature ensures some details will remain locked in the ice forever.